Erling Haaland, since joining Borussia Dortmund, these are the stats for him. And don't forget, he is still just 21 years old. What a future he has ahead of him. Now, Jan Agerfjordhoff was at this game today. And as Craig said earlier, Jan, Dortmund didn't make it easy on themselves.
No, they didn't. And Hoffenheim, they had 9 games in the league without losing. And so they very competed. It was very competing with Dortmund in this game. The first 15 minutes were unbelievably intense. There were 3 yellow cards. Hoffenheim hit the post and so on. And Dortmund didn't look so well, but they came over then in the second half. We show in the highlights there, and I think that the goalkeeper Kobel, who did a very good game today, by the way, says it all. He was maybe Dortmund's best player, and it just show they want to be the challenger to Bayern Munich, but they won 5-2 against Frankfurt. Then they lost in Freiburg. Then they're winning now. They conceded 6 goals. So, but still. I must say, there is only allowed 25,000 in this stadium now. You fill it up, there is 80. And believe me, when there was the equaliser for Hoffenheim, it was so quiet. And then everything exploded in the 93rd minute or so when Erling Haaland made that 3-2 goal. And with the coach, with the players, it was more a relief than joy. And now they're going into to the time where we're going to play the national teams and they go away. And so this was a perfect timing for them. But if you ask me, do they look like a title challenger? I would say no. There are too many blind passengers, Blindpassagiere, sagt man in Deutsch. So is people that shouldn't be in that team. If you're going to be a title challengers, you have Munier, Paslak, Witzel too slow at the back there. And so for me, they're not going for the championship. But they got Erling Haaland, and the will he just showed, even in this game, it was a bit difficult for him. But still, what they did there at the end, that was not typical Dortmund. It was typical Dortmund to concede that goal on a corner, exactly the same goal they conceded against Frankfurt. But it was not typical Dortmund to turn it around in the overtime, because they would never have done that with Favre, because you knew if Dortmund got something against them, they would just lie down. They didn't do that today, and I think that's what Marco Rose will take away from this game.
What did you make of them, Craig, after watching today?
I think it leaves more questions than answers, as Jan was saying. The negative side is they've got a problem at right back, still got a problem at centre back. Guerrero is a good player, but he got caught out badly. The positives, they're graceful going forward. You know, the touch from Reyna for the goal. Bellingham is another terrific player. Royce is playing actually some good football, Marco Royce. And of course, then you've got Erling Haaland, who was actually quite quiet today by his standards, but ultimately got the winner. And he's trying to figure out some sort of partnership with Daniel Malen, who is a very pacey player. So it'll be interesting to see as the season goes on whether Marco Rose continues with trying to go with Haaland and Daniel Malen with the pace, or whether he sees he might have to go with an extra midfielder and leave Haaland up there on his own. But I think one thing we know for sure, if they don't defend better, they won't win the Bundesliga. I mean, I think it's as simple as that. Everything else is in place, apart from that part of the field.
I think that's the thing. When you look at Dortmund's defending, when you look at the 2 goals that they conceded, both times they had numbers back. Don't track runners for the first, and then Marco Reus from a set piece, for some very strange reason, stays in and keeps everybody on side. And that kind of lazy defending from Dortmund may very well cost them. They're fortunate that they got away with it this time, just because of the likes of Erling Haaland and what they have going forward. But this is by far a good Dortmund team that we've seen. They get 3 points, but they know they're lucky. I thought for long spells, Hoffenheim had the better of the game. Jan mentioned, hit the post. Dortmund's goalkeeper, without question, man, the match on the day, though he won't grab the headlines. And they go into a break, as Jan said, now with a late winner that makes them feel better than that performance was. But you get to reset, and you get to reset from a good spot. But it was not by any means a great Dortmund performance.
Jan, just quickly, I heard you say something when Craig mentioned Daniel Malen.
Yes, it's interesting. I talked to Marco Rose after the game, and I say, is that one of the decisions you got to make in this team, to play with 2 strikers or play with 1 on a front? And he said, but it sounds better, doesn't it, to play with two strikers, make us more offensive. But I think that he will see that as well. He likes to play with two striker, but I think that today as well, as Craig mentioned, not only, I think Malen was better today. That was his best game for Dortmund. He used his body, there was some good runs, some good turns, but I think they have to find a more chemistry if you're going to have a partnership up front there. And if you put a striker in there, you will always miss one in midfield that will kind of get these passes in. And maybe sometimes it's all also about the runs of Erling Haaland. Sometimes when you have another striker up there, you kind of block them. But maybe that is through training, through playing together to find a chemistry between them. At the moment, I don't see that chemistry, and that they have to solve if they're going to play and keep on playing with two up front. There are some players coming back from injuries. You have Hazard out now. Maybe if Hazard was in, he would play with that midfielder and keep Malen out of the team. But he's also a big signing for them, so they want to get him going. So it's going to be interesting. A lot of challenges for Marco Rose, but oh my God, was he a relief after the game that he at least won that game. Because at one point, as Archie talked with the goalie, at one point that would be close to crisis for Dortmund.
Archie talked with the goalie. You talked with Erling Haaland afterwards, right? What did he have to say?
Oh, relief. And he said this was not a good game. And like Craig said, yeah, he had a quiet game, but still it came to chances. And what we saw today in the game, there were more crosses. He looks like more like he had a couple of heading opportunities in the first half, but he was so relieved. And now he's playing for Norway against Holland and going into there with a good feeling and so on. And with all the speculation in and around him, I'm amazed that this say that, Craig?
Yeah, and was he happier with you this week? Because he looked really angry with you last week with your questions.
If you can ask anyone who comment, make an interview with him. He's not. That is just the way he is. He just walks away. You can see last week, and I asked him about Bayern is showing some weaknesses, and he was like, no, and you could just saw his face, and that is just the way he is. He was very, very happy. He doesn't like this interview position, and some German channels are not very happy that they don't get all the interviews they use from the Bayern Munich player. But May, I would just want to say to end that sentence, because there are speculation about PSG is Manchester City, and we keep forgetting that he's only 21, and to kind of block everything out, I think that is an amazing thing to do for a young lad.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.